Hello, students, and welcome to our second episode of our CIP project building. To start, let us have a review. Before we proceed with our new lesson for this day, let us recall the previous topic that we had discussed. In this activity, I want you to supply the most appropriate preposition in the following research questions. Are you now ready? Let us go. What is the profile, blank, the respondents in terms of 1.1, age, 1.2, sex, and 1.3, monthly family income? In, on, or of? Congratulations, you got it right. The correct preposition is of. What is the profile of the respondents in terms of age, sex, and monthly family income? The second question. How may the welding skills of the respondents be described blank terms of 1.1, physical abilities, 1.2, mathematical skills, and 1.3, attention to details? In, on, or of? Great! The correct preposition is in. How may the welding skills of the respondents be described in terms of physical abilities, mathematical skills, and attention to details? Let us proceed with the third question. Is there a significant relationship, blank, the profile of the respondents and their welding skills, among, between, or under? Good job! You got it right. The correct preposition is between. Is there a significant relationship between the profile of the respondents and their welding skills? Now, I want you to pay attention to the following statements to be presented in your screen. Can you guess the appropriate tense of the verb in that statement? Now, let us start. Let us have to try the first one. A worker try blank to set a work-related agreement with his boss yesterday. Can you guess the appropriate tense of the verb in that statement? And the correct tense of the verb is try. Congratulations, you got it right. Next, we always check blank our work before we submit it to the teacher. Can you guess the right tense of the verb? The correct answer is check. We always check our work before we submit it to the teacher. The next one. Paul weld blank the remaining bars every day. Can you guess the correct tense of the verb in that sentence? Awesome! Congratulations! Welds is the correct verb in that statement. Paul welds the remaining bars every day. Next one. Every night, factory workers grind blank their way to complete the 8-hour work schedule. Can you guess the right verb in that sentence? Great job! Every night, factory workers grind their work to complete the 8-hour work schedule. The correct verb is grind. The next one. Last week, we make blank sure that the foundation of the cage we have created is sturdy. Can you guess the right verb in that statement? Okay, very good. the correct verb is made. Last week, we made sure that the foundation of the cage we have created is sturdy. Now, let us identify how these verbs are related to our discussion for this session. In this session, we're going to have the reporting verbs. Reporting verbs help the readers to understand the relevance of the source in your writing and can help you to strengthen your argument. However, we can sometimes get stuck by repeatedly using states or reports. There are many other reporting verbs that we can show how you feel about the research and how the authors view on their own research. Now, let us look at the list of the possible reporting verbs that you can use in citing authors for your research from the RMIT University of 2012. Here are the following lists of the neutral reporting verbs: assume, categorize, comment, compare, contrast, define, demonstrate, describe, document, discuss, explain, explore, focus on, found, identify, indicate, interpret, list, mention, note, observe, point out, reflect, regard, report, reveal, show, state, study, take into consideration, use, view. So those are the verbs that we can use in citing a particular text or study in our research. Here are now some strong reporting verbs that we can use in writing a research paper: acknowledge, advocate, affirm, argue, assert, assume, believe, challenge, condone, concede, confirm, conclude, contend, deny, declare, determine, dismiss, dispute, disregard, doubt, emphasize, endorse, establish, highlight, ignore, infer, insist, maintain, misinterpret, negate, object to, oppose, and presume. Now that we are able to identify some of the reporting verbs that are commonly used, now let us talk about the tense, where reporting verbs are usually stated: the simple past tense. We use simple past tense when referring to activity that was completed as a part of the methodology. Also, we use simple past tense when referring to the information that was once considered true but has now been discounted. Let us have the following examples of those simple past tense. Stein, 2018, studied whether the only onset Alzheimer's disease affected individuals younger than 30. Another sentence, Allen of 2020 explored whether there was truly life on Earth. Another sentence, Domingos of 2002 on pages 76 to 79 suggested 3 possible interpretations of these results. Now, let us dig into each statement. Stein as the author, and 2018 is the year when it was published, or that article was published, and we have here our reporting verb, which is studied. And that whether the only onset of Alzheimer's disease affected individuals younger than 30 is the claim of the author Stein. Another one, Allen is the author, and 2020 is the year when the article or the research was published, and the reporting verb is explored. In this statement, Dominguez is the author of that text, while 2002, pages 76 to 79, where this article was published, and the pages where we can find this particular statement. And the suggested is what we call the reporting verb. There are 4 components when constructing statements in the review of the related literature. Our chapter 2 in our research. We have here the author. Author are the one or the person who created that research. The year when it was published, much better if the research is 10 years ago or below. The younger, the better. The reporting verb is what we call it, or what the verb that we use in introducing a particular research. An argument is what the researcher discovers and argues in relation to your research. Now that we know some of the reported words or reporting verbs in the research and their example, including the pattern of constructing statements, let us proceed on finding relevant literature in relation to your research. Here are the things to consider before you search for relevant literature. What is the specific thesis, problem, or research question that my literature review aims to define? Another thing to consider, what type of literature review am I conducting? Am I looking at issues of theories, methodologies, policies, or qualitative research, example, the interviews observation, or qualitative research such as studies, surveys, or statistics? What is the scope of my literature review? What types of publication am I using? Example, journals, books, and government documents. Has it been narrow enough to exclude irrelevant material? Will the reader find my literature review relevant, appropriate, and or useful? Now that we understood the things to consider in review of related literature, let us now apply our learning. So at this point, let me provide you a sample research title based on the previous episode. The title is Welding Skills of Shielded Metal Arc Welding SMAU Grade 12 Students. This is the general problem. This study aimed to describe the welding skills of shielded metal arc welding or SMAU majors. Is it possible to include in our review of related literature the shielded metal arc welding? Yes, it is possible. That means you find sources related to shielded metal arc welding. Is the welding skills also included? Yes. The answer is also yes. You may find sources in relation to welding skills and how to perform the different skills in welding. Here are some examples that may include in your review of related literature. Munawar et al. Of 2018 explored the mechanical characteristic of S45C steel with or without heat treatment in the Laboratory of Mechanical Engineering study program. Another one. Tanimu of et al. 2013 concluded that duplex stainless steel can be welded successfully using shielded metal arc. So these are some of the relevant literature that we can add in our research. Another one. Rose et al. Of 2015 established the majority of the students successfully meet the criterion standards using both gas metal arc welding or GMAW and the shielded metal arc welding or SMAW. Now, at this juncture, I want you to identify which of the following review of related literature is applicable to the research title that we have just talked about. We have here, number 1, increasing female welders abroad. Number 2, measurement skills among welders in the Philippines. Number 3, improving the academic performance of the grade 12 students in English. Number 4, sustainability assessment of shielded metal arc welding process. Number 5, thermal and structural modeling of the arc welding process. Check which of those following titles of the research that may be relevant or related with our research or may be included into our review of related literature. Okay, 4 out of 5 of the studies presented is related to our title. The number 1, increasing female welders abroad, because we have here the welders. Measurement skills among welders in the Philippines, the same with number 1, welders. For number 4, sustainability assessment of the shielded metal arc welding. We have already there, shielded metal arc welding. And number 5, thermal and structural modeling of the arc welding process. We have here the arc welding. Now that we are all equipped in formulating our review of related literature, it is the time to assess whether you fully understood our lesson for this day. I want you to identify the reporting verb that is used in each statement. Here are some statements that may be included in your review of related literature. Identify those reporting verbs. Zalkind, 2007, explained that the future need for the competent welders should prompt educational programs to adequately train individuals for industrial assignments as punctually as possible for various levels of skills requirement. Identify the reporting verb in that statement. The correct answer is explained. Mayers, 2012, concluded that the pre-service teacher training is essential to help new and beginning teachers successfully teach a 4 welding course. Identify the reporting verb in that statement. Great job, SMAU students. The correct answer is concluded. The next one, Hoffman et al. Of 2012 indicated in his anecdotal evidence that SMAU is the most difficult weld process to master by secondary students. In that statement, identify the reporting verb. Congratulations, SMAU students. The correct answer is indicated. Next one. Erickson 2013 suggested that the instructor organize the sequence of appropriate training tasks and monitor improvement to decide when transitions to the more complex and challenging tasks are appropriate, such as the case when transitioning SMAU students from the gas metal arc welding to shielded metal arc welding laboratory practicums. Identify the reporting verb in that statement. Good job! The correct answer is suggested. We are almost at the end. Wolf et al. 2018 studied how to improve the effectiveness of deliberate structured practices, and it suggested that students concentrate on the resulting effects of movements rather than on movements themselves. Identify the reporting verb in that statement. Good job! The correct answer is studied. Good job, SMAU students! Now, it is your turn to make your review of related literature. Are you ready for that? For your assignment, I want you to create review of related literature based on your research title. Write your answer on a whole bond paper or a sheet of paper. Do not forget to consult your inquiries, investigation, and immersion teacher for your consultation. Thank you very much, SMAU students. I hope that we will see each other again on our next episode. I hope you learned a lot from this episode. Good luck and God bless you all.